The tension before you breach a room in Rainbow Six Siege is often palpable. I'll place a charge on a wall and then wait for my teammates to get in position before blowing it wide open. Coordination is key, and working together to get the most out of each operator's ability can be even more valuable than landing a good headshot. Though the headshots definitely help. Siege has come a long way since it launched 2 years ago. A steady stream of new maps and operators have slowly transformed it into a much deeper competitive game, even if there are some growing pains that come along with that. It's still a 5v5 dance of attack and defense on 15 compact but complex maps that stretch across multiple stories. It's littered with destructible walls and floors, letting you make your own doors and open up new sightlines. Each round of a match starts with a frantic race as one side sets up their defenses and the other hunts for intel with remote-controlled drones. Siege's wonderful emphasis on strategy and smart play over pure twitch aiming means figuring out which door to barricade and which to break open can often win you more games than just being able to outgun your opponents. There's a fantastic amount of variety every time I sit down to play. The flip side is that so many unique maps means it takes longer to actually learn their layouts, but it's a trade-off that ultimately improves Siege. Working with your teammates either through voice chat or map markers is a simple but extremely impactful thing you can do to get better at Siege. For example, you can use cameras to mark the location of an enemy, but it'll also warn the marked player that they've been seen. Instead, simply telling your teammates their position can give them the same information without alerting your opponent. You can still use those same cameras after you've died too, which cleverly cuts out a lot of the downtime and lets you continue to help any surviving teammates. Siege has grown its roster of playable operators from 20 to 36 since launch, each with a unique loadout and special ability that leaves ample room for different playstyles and strategies. The result is more dynamic and varied matches, both in how you play and who you have to play against. The presence of an operator like Mira completely changes the landscape of a map, with the ability to put impenetrable one-way mirrors in otherwise solid walls. Whereas operators like Caveira, who can silence her footsteps, have enabled new strategies for aggressive, roaming defenders. These creative abilities have changed Siege in very real ways, and the benefit of that variety can be felt even if you don't have these new operators unlocked for yourself. I didn't necessarily feel like I was at a disadvantage by not having any given character, and the 20 original operators are still strong, fun, and varied. Still, it can take at least a whopping 20 hours of play on the low end to unlock any of the newly added operators, which makes it a steep climb for new players to catch up. Siege feels like it's been set up to encourage players to spend real money on its year-long passes, which provide every new operator released in their given time period for $30, plus some other goodies. It's almost like an annual subscription fee, but with the option to unlock things with in-game currency instead. That said, I'm still disappointed that the Year 1 operators haven't dropped in price since their release. The store itself suffers from different growing pains that Siege has yet to address. While the cosmetic options offered are very cool, the store has become a big pile of stuff that's hard to browse and hard to search. As a side activity to the competitive battles, there's the PvE terrorist hunt mode and the single-player situations. Both of these modes are great, offering a good way to warm up before PvP. But it's a bit disappointing that we haven't really seen either mode expand as everything else around it grows. Rainbow Six Siege's focus on teamwork and strategy over just aiming prowess sets it apart in exciting ways, and the constant stream of new maps and operators have made each match wonderfully varied. All that new content has made it harder for new players to catch up, but smart play and good communication will still win you more games than having the newest operator. It's got some growing pains to sort out, but with a free third-year update plan already laid out, the future continues to look bright for Siege. For more on Rainbow Six Siege, check out our guide with 10 tips to break into the game. And for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.
This zone is by the enemy. Retreat. The threat has been eliminated.